The older that I get, the more I understand how important it is to have boundaries because people.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about a very important topic which can completely change your life, the power of boundaries. Okay, so I've put the videos together so that you watch and learn. I'll be back to share my true sense about this video.
The older that I get, the more I understand how important it is to have boundaries because people will play in your face until the day you die if you let them. And the worst part about it is that after you hit like that 25-year mark, you can't blame that shit on nobody but yourself. You have to take full accountability. And I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand when shit is my motherfucking fault. Like, you mean to tell me I have to take so much accountability to the point where I might have to dig deep into my childhood trauma and figure out what it is that my mom and dad did or said to me when I was younger that makes me allow people to treat me like shit and walk all over me in my adult life? Who the fuck has time for that?
Something I will never stop preaching is that the second you stop giving people importance in your life, they will not matter to you. You assign everyone in your life value. So if there's someone that's not treating you right, a friend, romantic partner, whatever, you can take your power back by not giving them power at all in your life. And I promise the second that you turn your attention away from them and focus on you or someone else or something else, they will come back. But you give people importance. Like, let's say you're stuck in a toxic cycle with a guy and you keep going back and forth and it's like a situationship or whatever, and he is not acting right, but in your head you're so obsessed with him because he doesn't want you or whatever. You are giving him all of that power. That's because of you. But if you were to be like, actually, I'm going to focus on myself and I'm going to meet someone new and focus on meeting someone new, he wouldn't matter. Like, literally, you give everyone importance in your life. So stop making that awful person so important. They're only special because you're making them special.
I don't know if anyone else does this, but I save the best parts of my personality for certain people. And it's not that I'm being fake, but I find that some people just understand my energy. I subconsciously manage and filter my energy depending on who I'm with. As I get older, I'm starting to understand that not every interaction requires you to be fully open. If I'm quieter or more neutral around you, it just means that you don't have the emotional capacity to meet me on the same level, and that's okay.
Somebody might be mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. I'm just going to say it. You have to be willing to lose anybody who disrespects you. You got to be willing to let go of anybody who disrespects you, regardless of how much you love them, regardless of how much they care for you. You have to be willing to let go of anybody. I'm talking about the favorite person on your list. You got to be willing to let them go when they disrespect you or when they cross your boundaries. Because guess what? Not letting them go means losing a part of yourself and losing a part of your self-respect. And when you get to a point to where you're not willing to lose or compromise your love or self-respect for anybody, your life is going to change.
Boundaries are your best friend, especially when you have a big heart. God told me recently, he said the reason you constantly have to keep on blocking people and cutting people off is because you don't have boundaries. You haven't understood and learned to grasp the concept of giving people limits to their access of you. You love somebody or you like somebody, so you love them and you just let them into your whole world. You disclose everything that you got in your hand too soon. You become friends with people too soon. You give your body away too soon. You don't give people boundaries, therefore, they don't even know when they are crossing them. You hear what I'm saying? So the bigger you are at heart, that's the bigger your boundary should be.
I don't care to be liked, and I'm okay with people not liking me, okay? It took me a couple of years to get to this point. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't happen overnight. But I do not care to be liked. Let me tell you, you can be the most nicest, most pleasant person on earth, and there will be some little freak in the corner that will find something to not like about you. There's a quote that says, you can be a whole ray of sunshine, and people will hate you because they are used to the rain. And that's why you have to be okay with shining regardless. Like, you're not ever going to be able to please everyone. And that's why people pleasing will be the death of you, okay? Live your life. do what you need to do, be who you need to be. The people that are in your life will love you regardless. The outside noise will never matter.
Ladies, if you want to be that woman who doesn't even need to open her mouth for her standards and boundaries to be known, this is what you need to understand. People listen to your actions, not to your words. Telling people what you like and don't like holds no weight if you don't back it up with actions. So here's what you can do. A verbal boundary is telling a guy who is hitting you up an hour or two before he wants to see you, hey, was looking forward to seeing you, but this is a bit too last minute for me. The non-verbal boundary, to back it up, is that if that continues to happen, you remove yourself from his presence. You don't get mad at him for it and rant to him about how you already told him you don't like this and how it's disrespectful, and then continue to stick around. Another example of a verbal boundary is letting a family member know that you're happy to have a discussion so long as it remains calm and respectful. The non-verbal boundary, to back it up, is that if shouting or name calling happens, you say, listen, it's getting a bit heated. Let's revisit this when we're feeling calmer and we can speak respectfully. You don't sit there and say, stop shouting at me, I told you not to speak to me like that, and continue to participate in the conversation. Ladies, when you start implementing non-verbal boundaries, you are going to realize how much power you truly have over your reality.
So that's a video, guys. So I'm just here to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. The importance of setting boundaries is not about being mean or selfish. It's about protecting your peace, your energy, and your happiness. Yet, so many people struggle with it. Why? Because we have been conditioned to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, and to put other people's feelings before our own. But here is the truth: when you don't set boundaries, you end up drained, resentful, and stuck in toxic cycles. What are boundaries really? Boundaries are your personal limits, what you will and want you to relate in relationships, work, family, and even social life. They define how you want to be treated and how much access people have to you. It says, I love you, but I won't let you talk to me like that. It says, I respect your friendship, but I can't handle being available. It's saying, I value my job, but I won't work overtime for free. Boundaries communicate self respect. When you enforce them, you teach people how to treat you. Why do people struggle with boundaries? There's a deep fear of
So this is in
rejection.
regards to the
Many
video that went
people worry
viral of
that
me saying
if
I'm
they
going to marry
set
that man
boundaries,
and how I knew
others
my
will get
husband was
mad,
my
walk
husband
away, or
very
call
early
them
on.
difficult.
Let's
And let's
rewind.
be honest,
July
some people
2022, I had just
will,
gotten out
but
of a
those who
relationship about
truly
a
care
month and a
about you
half
will respect
prior,
your
and so
boundaries
I was not
because they
looking for a
respect you.
relationship.
There's also
I had
guilty.
seen Caleb,
Maybe you
his name
were
is
raised to
Caleb,
believe that
multiple
saying
times
no
throughout
is rude,
Dallas, and it was
or that
weird that I
love
kept seeing him
means
because I'd never
sacrifice your
seen him
own needs.
before,
But
and I
real
had
love,
already lived in
healthy
Dallas for about a
love
year and a
doesn't
half. I
require
saw him at a pool
self
party, and I
betrayal.
asked a friend about
What
him. I was like,
happiness
who the
when you
freak
have
is
no
that? She
boundaries?
said, that's Caleb, but
Without
don't even try.
boundaries,
He's
life
moving in
becomes
2 weeks. He's
overwhelming.
younger than you, and every
You
girl wants
attract
him.
users,
So
manipulators, and
I
people
was
who
like, yeah,
take
I'm gonna try.
advantage of your kindness.
Anyway,
You feel
I go to
exhausted
stalk on
because you're
Instagram, and
constantly
turns out he was already following me and
overextending
had been
yourself.
DMing me for
In
about
the
a year and
worst
a
of
half.
all, you
Super
start losing
crazy.
touch
So I
with who
finally
you are
stalked him,
because you're
stalked
too busy
everything,
trying to
and I was like,
keep
you know what, I'm gonna follow him
everyone
back, but
else
I'm not gonna
happy.
initiate anything
Ever
first.
notice how people
And
with
finally,
no
we saw each
boundaries
other one
always
more
seem
time, and he
stressed,
was like, you know
resentful, or
what, this is
even
my final
depressed?
time. I'm
It's
gonna shoot my
because
shot. I'm
they
about
have
to move in
given
2 weeks.
too
I got
much
nothing to
of them
lose.
away.
So he
The
DMs me, he
benefit
asked
of
me out on a
strong
date, and I was
boundaries: when
like,
you
you know
start
what,
setting
I also have nothing
boundaries,
to lose.
everything
Let's
shifts. You
send it.
regain
He picks me
control
up from my
over
house
your
on the
time,
first date. I
your
didn't think this
energy,
was
and
weird
your
because we had a
emotions.
ton of friends
You
in
attract
common. I
better
knew he wasn't a
relationships,
weirdo or a
ones that
creeper
are
or
built
anything
on
like
mutual
that.
respect, not
Picks me up,
obligation or
and
duty.
I was
Suddenly,
so
you
nervous on
have
the
the
first date.
freedom to
And
say
I don't
no
normally get super nervous on
without
first dates.
explaining
I mean, I
yourself.
was in the car, I
You
was
protect
stroking
your
my hair like
mental
this, and he
healthy.
literally was like, are
You
you
stop
okay?
feeling
And I was like,
guilty
I'm
for
fine.
prioritizing
I literally
yourself.
lied, and I was
And
like,
most
I don't get
importantly,
nervous.
you create
Anyway, on the
space
first date,
or
I
peace
knew
for
something
yourself.
was different. And I
How
know
to
that video
start
said
setting
third date, but the
boundaries
third
is
date is
really
when I finally
important.
said it out loud.
So
But on the
the first
first
step
date,
is
I already knew,
self-awareness. Ask
literally looking
yourself,
out in the car
where
ride,
do
like
I feel
looking at him,
drained or
or I mean, our
disrespected
conversation, our
in my
banter,
life?
I was like,
Who
I
do I
know
need
this
to
is my
set
husband.
stronger
Now, it's not to say that it didn't come with any
boundaries with?
challenges
What am
because
I
we are actually
afraid will
4 years
happen
apart. I'm 4 years
if I
older than him,
start
so that
saying
definitely
no?
came with some
Then start
things we had to
small. You
overcome.
don't have
But
to
I
go
knew
on a
that there was something
boundary
different about him,
setting
and the Lord confirmed it
overnight,
to me
but you do
over and
have to
over
start
and over
speaking up.
and over
If
in the
a
dating
friend always
process. So
dumps
no, I
their
didn't
problems
manifest
on
this
you,
relationship.
gently
I
let them know
prayed,
you
I
can't
waited on the
always be
Lord, and I
their
asked God to
emotional
show me
crutch.
if this was a
If
man
your
worth
boss
marrying,
keeps calling
and
you
God
after
showed
hours,
me
stop
yes. And
answering
he treated
and let
me
them know
so
you don't
different
want to
than any
respond
other
during work
man. He
hours
played
only.
no games. He
If a
was
family
clear. He was
member crosses
intentional.
the line,
He just
let them
treated
know
me with
what
such
behavior you
kindness
want
and
to release.
patience.
won't be easy at first, but it will be
And
worth
on top of
it.
that, we just had
So
so much fun together.
uh,
I was literally obsessed, and
boundaries
I
are a
still
form
am.
of self-love.
So
They
11 months
protect
later, we got
from being
engaged, and
drained,
then we got married
manipulated, or
6
taken
months
for
after
granted.
getting
And the
engaged.
best part,
And now we've been married for
once you
about two and a
start
half months.
enforcing them, the
And I
right
know this sounds
people will
crazy to people,
respect you
but
more,
when God is
not
in it, when you're
less.
both
So
surrendered to
tell
the Lord
people
and you are
what
committed to serving each other
boundary
and
you know
serving
you
God,
need to set
these
in your life.
relationships can work
Let's
and
talk
can
in the
last.
comment
And 6
section if
weeks
you
after
found
he
this
moved away,
video
he moved
helpful.
back
Okay,
to date
so
me.
there are people who just crosses their
Ladies, if he
lines,
wanted to, he
like
would.
people
And
feel
he
like they
stood out
can
to me
talk to
because
you
he didn't
anyhow.
play any
Okay, so
games.
when
And even though he's
you're
younger
talking
than
to
me, he acts more
someone, you
mature than
need to
most
know
guys
your
my age.
limit.
And that's
You
our
don't have
story.
to cross the limit. Okay, some people they think they can talk to you anyhow they want, but if you stand saying no, that is good for you because you are respecting yourself, one, and people are going to respect you because you know where you stand. You have to stand your ground. For people to respect you, you have to stand your ground. So when you tolerate people to do whatsoever they want to you, they're going to treat you bad and you're going to feel overwhelmed. That's the truth. So always speak up your mind. If things are not going the right way, tell them this is not the way I want things to be handled. May I love things to be handled like this, like this. And people will get it and do one time when you're talking, they'll say, "Oh no, this person doesn't relate that. Should be angry." Have you ever heard of something like that? It's because these people they stand on their ground and they tell people, "I don't relate this. I won't take this, and I'll take this," and it's normal. This is how life needs to be. Okay, yeah. So there's also boundaries in families. If your family member is giving you bad time, either you set boundaries or you go no contact. It's very important because you need to find your own peace. I know a lot of people they don't know themselves. Okay, they want validation every time. That's a thing, but it's okay. But you have to know that you are worthy, you attract good things, you're a good person, you're kind, and all that. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate. I'll see you in my next episodes. Bye.